I'm literally at the border between Ghana and Ivory Coast at 4 a.m. in the morning. Like, the border is closed, but we wait. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and this is the part 2 of my Ghana to Ivory Coast road trip. My name is Chikamnenye. If you're new to this channel, I'm a travel storyteller. I document history and culture across the continent of Africa, and in this video I'm going to be sharing my experience taking the night bus from Accra, Ghana to Abidjan in Ivory Coast. Now, this was not my initial plan. I very much wanted to take a bus during the day. In fact, every article and video I had seen on YouTube directed me to the STC Park. We're on our way to the STC Park to get our ticket to Abidjan. So you should know that STC has a ticketing portal online, but for international trips you can check the price and check availability, but you need to come here to the park at the main park to buy your ticket. Yeah. You can literally hear my heart breaking when they told me that there were no tickets available to go the next day.
We can't do Tuesday.
So some people at the park advised us to go to Kanishi to get a car that would drive us to Elubo, the border town between Ghana and Ivory Coast, and then from there we'll get another car that would take us to Abidjan. Got to the park at Kanishi and we came across the vehicles that go to Abidjan, and while we were there I came across this billboard of STM. There was an operator there and he directed me to their park at Circle, where I eventually got my tickets. So I'm back at my hotel. This is where I was telling people about from my last video. It was pretty budget friendly, about 590 cedis, which is roughly $40 per night, and it's very comfortable. So I had about 24 hours, which you know what I did with it in my previous video, before I got to the STM park at 7 p.m. For those of you wondering the price differences, so STC ticket was about 630 cedis. The STM bus ticket was 640 cedis, and a bus to Elubo from Kanishi was 190 cedis. An air-conditioned Sienna. So unlike STC, STM only leaves at night, which made me wonder if this was kind of some agreement that the two companies had amongst themselves. 2 STM coaches leave the park every night, one at 7 p.m. and one at 10 p.m. So I bought the tickets for 7 p.m. the day before, but I learned that the 10 p.m. bus pretty much leaves at the same time as long as the bus is already full. Actually, we arrived at the border at the same time, so I know that was legit information. So I'm giving you an exclusive tour of what inside STM coaches look like while I try to find my seat.
In front. Sorry? There's no way of understand what you said. Okay, those two. Sorry. Those two in front. I can't tell whether they are two. No, there's somebody there. Gosh. Let's get to the bottom. Unless we just sit down at one person in front. Sorry. At this point.
So before I was even able to get a seat, one of the first things I picked up on concerning this bus was that it was very multilingual and multicultural. You would hear people from Liberia, people from Nigeria, people from Ivory Coast, like there were people of different nationalities. One particular language that stuck out for me, it almost sounded like Hausa, like spoken in Nigeria, but I knew it wasn't Hausa because it had like a francophone element to it. And when I was trying to ask the people around me that spoke the language, unfortunately they didn't understand me, but they understood French. If you're watching this video and you happen to know the language you're speaking, please plug me in. Like, I like to know these things. I've been doing my research myself, but if you can get me to the point as quick as possible, I'd really, really appreciate it, because it really sounded like Hausa from Nigeria, but I know that's not what it is. So at exactly 7 p.m., the bus went completely dark and we got on the road. I don't know if I also mentioned that these coaches are air conditioned and they have like a television and charging ports. So, and oh, and the seats also recline, by the way. While we're still in Accra, we stopped for petrol. It took about 30 to almost 35 minutes for the bus's tank to get filled up, and then we were on the road again. It was pretty much at this time that I was ready to recline my seat. I wasn't exactly watching the movie. I think it was Die Hard or some popular like foreign movie that was on, and people were actually really engrossed. One thing I would say, if you're taking this coach, get warm clothing because it gets really, really cold. Somewhere along the trip, I fell asleep, and at exactly 4 a.m., we arrived at Elubo, the border town. In fact, we're actually by the border, but the border was closed, which brings me to why I believe taking this night coach is possibly the best option. One, you actually arrive at the border very early in the morning and you can stay on the bus, you can sleep on the bus. You don't necessarily have to look for accommodation, as against if I took the cheaper car from Kanishi that was 190, I would have probably arrived at the border. Since that car left at 9 a.m. in the morning, I would have had to find somewhere to rest or stay in town, as against just sitting in this coach waiting until daybreak. Also, if you can afford to get a neck pillow for this trip, please do. Like, I did not come to Ghana with a neck pillow, but I got one from Melcom for like 145 cedis before my trip. I'm one of those people that are really 50-50 about roaming. So when I got to the border, I changed my SIM to an Ivorian SIM. Personally, I feel if you're going to be in a country for an extended period of time, you should look more into getting a SIM rather than roaming, because the cost of data will eat you alive. You will have no idea. So yeah, I changed my SIM. This was the time. After this, I went back to the bus to sleep. By the time I woke up, it was time to cross the border. Like, I don't know if you can tell my excitement, but I was just ready for the journey to continue so that it could end as soon as possible. So the time came for us to cross from the Ghana side. It was pretty quick, pretty easy. Nothing in particular. You're pretty much stamping out of Ghana, so they didn't really ask for anything. This is the bus. Like, we're going to the Ivorian side and we're ready to cross, and we're ready to just get into Ivory Coast. So as far as crossing this border is concerned, it's not like, I would say, the Lagos Benin Republic or Togolese border where there are places you can sit to wait, but very decent, with no intention of keeping you there for a long time. Quick tip: if you're visiting Ivory Coast for the very first time, they're very particular about their health laws. They made us wash our hands at the border before we could even come in, and if you have a yellow fever card and you've not taken a meningitis shot before, they do have Port Health Authority staff on ground to administer it at 6,500 sefa, and you actually get a receipt. I got a receipt anyways, and the people at the border were kind enough to even explain to me why the shot was necessary.
That's why. I think it's the first one. Sorry. Sorry.
Now, with that being said, there was a stamping fee. While I was doing my research, I had actually prepared 10,000 sefa. What I heard was that it was 10,000 sefa for Nigerians and 5,000 sefa for Ghanaians because they're closer. But it turned out to be the same cost for everyone that was crossing for the first time. Oh, and by the way, this is No Bridge. It's named after the border on the Ivorian side. So I'm back on the bus, and I forgot to mention there's also a customs point where everyone's things will be searched, but as long as you don't have any passenger on your bus that is carrying anything illegal, you guys are pretty fine. And I should also mention language barrier as well. While you're at this border, you don't have to, but very much multilingual at the border. Like, majority of the immigration officers from the Ivory Coast side could speak English fluently and could understand English. So if you're an English speaker, you wouldn't have problem. If you're a French speaker, of course you're not going to have problem. Even if you're stamping out from the Ghana side and you're a French speaker, there are a number of them that speak the language at that side of the border as well. It is now time for the 4-hour drive from No to Abidjan. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel to support, and I'll be sharing a lot more about my time in Ivory Coast in videos to come. Thank you for watching once again. I'll see you in my next video. Keep watching. This is not the end yet, but this is where I keep short. Goodbye.